Welcome, my name is Tishara and this is StarMade. And in today's episode we are looking at the next 5 submissions right here in front for the build competition or build initiative I should say. And we are getting close to the deadline already, so I think there's only a couple of submissions that are going to be submitted before the deadline is reached. But we already have quite a lineup already, as you can see, so lots and lots of ships. But yeah, let's get to the newest additions to this lineup and start with this one on our right over here. This is the Needle Tail, and it reminds me of a very old propeller airplane kind of vibe, doesn't it has. Quite a nice shape it's got with the prominent cockpit over here. We see inside that there is some interior going on, and we've got lots of little details like this piping over here, very reminiscent of old airplane engines, I think. And we even have the wing bits over here, so that's quite nice. Then this continues into a twin engine setup over here. We got some nice detailing going on in the engines as well. Some additional piping on the side like this. I think this is the shipyard block that was used. I didn't even know that it could be used on a ship like that, but it's a good idea to use it with a different combination of piping, just a little bit of color. Some nice details in the engines themselves. The output isn't that big, but what was done with the size that it is well executed. And on the underside we have some additional detailing going on with piping, and I believe this is the entrance. So we're going to be using that in a second to see what's going on inside the ship. And some armor plating at the belly of the ship over here. Then at the front we've got this big propeller. Like I said, it's an old-fashioned propeller airplane look that this ship has. But yeah, let's check out the inside of this ship and see what's going on there. Like I said before, there's a door at the bottom of the ship, and I did notice that there are, I believe this is a repair module here, so there's probably some sort of system repair system in here as well. Oh, we have a actual access ramp, so this is probably something that's made to be landed on a planet. So we can grab this ramp, go up here, then grab some gravity, and then okay, press the airlock over here. This closes and then this door opens for us. It's a quite simple but neat airlock. We've got some information in this area to see what the status of the ship is, the health, the reactor and shields. So that's quite nice to have. Then upstairs we've got a ladder that goes to the top of the ship. We've got this middle deck over here. If we go in here, we've got a teleporter on the left and a sort of bedroom nook on the side over here. And I believe we have another one over here. Yeah, so it's a ship for 2 people. This is probably the bathroom with no data for the toilet itself. Okay, and a small kitchen by the looks of it. And we're cooking illegal wiles by the looks of it. Nice little view to the back of the ship. I like this interaction with the rest of space. And then we can continue on up here. If we're going to make it, no. How are we going to jump up there? Probably from here, I think. No, I can't jump. I'm bad at jumping. Let's cheat for a bit. Let's go out of gravity. Up here is the cockpit itself, with some of the computers here, like for example the faction block and the core, of course. Let's quickly check what type of systems we have and the interactions we have with different buttons. So we've got an engine button. Not sure what that does exactly. Doesn't do anything, I think. No lights. Let's press it again. I'm not exactly sure what it does. There's nothing moving or lighting up, I think. Now I'm quite curious. Landing gear. That's something we can see. Oh, that's quite nice. This is landing gear at a 45-degree angle. That's really nicely done. So this neatly lines up with the rest of the body of the ship, I believe. Then we've got the wingy bits over here. Ah, okay, they rotate up. I wasn't expecting that. Quite nicely done. So basically this is your landing position. Ah, okay, this is the engine. Haha, it's the propeller at the front with the blinking lights. I'm glad I did find that eventually. We've got this nice lighting pattern going on, blinking from the outside to the inside of the shape here. So it's quite nicely done. I don't think that's everything. We do have a cloaker, so this is a sneaky ship. So probably using the cloaker to get ahead of all the other ships. So let's stop the engine and do the landing gear, and the wings back to the position they were in. So now it's back to its original configuration. So yeah, quite nicely done. Lots of nice little details. Quite a quaint little interior, enough for 2 people. So very nice job for this build. The next ship is the Solar Skipper Racing Yacht, if I believe I remember the name correctly. Yeah, this is basically a sailing ship in space. That's quite obvious from the first look I get at this ship. It's got the mast with the blue sails at the top and at the bottom. And then we've got this big engine pod at the end of the mast with our output to get it as fast as possible. So it's quite a unique design and used the teal color with white. Teal is not something you see quite that often in ship design. I think the only one is the racing ship over there from last week that uses it. And we've got already a lot of things we can see on the inside because of all the glass that's being used, both in the cockpit area and the back area of the ship. So there should be quite a lot of interior to explore as well. We also have some additional smaller engine pods, I think, yeah. And we've got an engine at the back of the main hull of the ship as well. So it's basically got all kinds of propulsion types attached to this hull. We've got the main engines at the mast ends, the smaller engines at the main hull and the main hull itself, and of course the sails. So yeah, it's probably going to use all of them to get from point A to point B. But I'm quite curious what's inside this ship, because like I said, you can already see quite a lot of it. So let's check that out. The door to the airlock is quite obvious, so nicely marked with the yellow and black stripes. And I do see a hidden button over there to press to probably activate this this airlock over here. So let's do that. Press it, okay, door closes, and then it opens up on this side. Have the gravity, and nicely lit up on this side as well with the button lights over here. And then I believe I just pressed this button. Ah, okay, it cycles. Yeah, it cycles from one end to the other end. That's quite a nice system to have for your airlock system. You can indicate to the player how long it's going to take to open the other door. Of course, you can still open it by hand if you want. If you really want to make it idiot-proof, so to speak, you can use the rail doors so they can open them by hand. then you have to use the button. But yeah, this works as well. We've got two sides we can go to. We can go to the back. This is basically a big launching area with all types of tables and chairs. We have lots of guests probably getting a drink and then enjoying the view of outer space. And we've got some light buttons. Something with lights over here. I think it's these lights that it turns on and off. But I don't see a big difference when I turn them off. So yeah, if you would have linked up the table lights, that would probably make a bigger difference. But yeah, quite nice to have that as well. Not sure what's going on here. This is probably an elevator or something, possibly. So let's check out the front first. So this is the cockpit area, I would call it. It's very open and lots of space, but there's not a lot of control stations going on. It's just a lot of benches to basically make this a sort of promenade deck for passengers to sit and then enjoy space as well. And just the captain chair and the core itself and there's a door here. Okay, yeah, this is a rail door, so that's always nice. Closing off the bridge. Yeah, like that. So now I'm quite curious if this is an elevator. I think it is. That's the door. Ah, yeah, it is an elevator. I thought so. So we do have a floor below this. Let's see. Okay, this is a control area. I would expect this to be in the cockpit area, but it works just on this floor as well, I think. So we've got the sails, we can turn them on or off, and the beacon lights, by the looks of it. We can do that later. Then over here we have some sort of common area and a kitchen, by the looks of it. We can turn on and off the lights as well. Always nice. This is the, okay, this is for the windows. That's quite nice. Nice view of the outside. Quite cozy. And then over here we've got a bathroom or medical area by the looks of it. I think medical area. This is bunk A, so this is the sleeping quarters. It's not big, but doesn't need to be. Then this is the other bunk by the looks of it. Yeah, it's basically the same. And then we can open the window blinds here as well. Take a look at the next ship we're going to visit. And on this side, this was the elevator I came out of. So here you have another rail door, and this leads to also a bathroom or medical area, same as the other side. And this is probably the captain quarters, captain's bed. We can open the window blinds here as well. So the captain has a bigger bedroom in its own bathroom by the looks of it. So quite nicely done. Then closing it off, but you can still look inside. Look at the captain sleep. Okay, I think that's it for the interior as far as this goes. So let's hop into the core and check out the systems real quick. Other side. Don't get lost in a small ship like this, I hope. So let's check it out. What do we have? We have some things here. Yeah, the beacons and the sails. So if we press the sails are gone. By the looks of it. And then if we press this, yeah, then we've got beacon lights. Just at the front by the looks of it, and the top and bottom of the masts. Let's put it back in the original configuration. Yeah. What other things do we have? Scanners, activation module, rail docker, and thrust blast. I think that's about it. Let's see. Ship reactor. Yeah, it's got the speed upgrades by the looks of it. Nicely done. Still got some space for other systems as well if needed, or upgrading some of the things, leveling it up. But yeah, basically the standard systems I would expect from a racing ship. Quite nicely done. So let's continue on to the next entry. This next ship is the Burn Baby Burn. I quite like the name actually. And it looks fast. That's the first thing I've noticed when I'm looking at this shape. It also has quite a Star Wars type of feel, and I know this is probably expected because this particular author did build quite a number of Star Wars related ships, so that's probably where the inspiration comes from. But I quite nice like the nicely sleek hull design that it got going on. And what's quite interesting is there's a lot of blocks used in detailing this hull that you would normally not expect. So, for example, these blocks over here, and then these or related blocks over here, these yellow ones. Looks really industrial, bracing to basically connect the wing bits to the main hull, I believe. But quite nicely done. And this smoothly goes into the engine designs at the back over here. We've got quite a nice bit of detailing with the girders, so that's something you don't see that often either, and some factor thrust as well by the looks of it. And we've got a airlock system at the back to get inside the ship, and of course it's symmetrical, so it's the same on this end. And if you look at the bottom of the ship, it's quite a nice bit of detailing going on here as well. With using the piping, for example, over here. This is really selling the engine feel of this part of the ship. And some additional detailing for antennas, things like that. So quite liking that as well. Very sleek design, very recognizable, I think, in silhouette. But I'm quite curious how the inside was done as well, so let's go to that. I can already see that this will be a rail door, and that's something that I notice as well when I do rail doors. It's always a bit annoying if you have half slabs, because I can see that the half slabs were used in this. That this happens, that the bottom of the half slab you use with glass, that he removes the top of the half slab of the fall block, so you can look through it. You can fix that by using docked entities or docked entities, but sometimes that goes a bit too far if you want to do that. I believe I'm missing something at the top here, or I did have a pirate attack, by the way. You probably have noticed with the awkward cut at the beginning of the video, but I don't think this is the case because of the pirate attack. I think this is just a couple of missed blocks. I think something needs to be fixed because I can get into the systems there. But otherwise, very nice entrance. Let's close the door behind us. Yeah, I think it is damaged by the pirate attack. That's my fault, most likely. Ah, I see. I think there's a pirate attack going on now. I see some turrets moving around. Just a second. I loaded in a new copy of the ship because, yeah, I did get damaged by a pirate attack, so normal pirates, just to be clear. But yeah, even with a newly loaded ship, these blocks are still missing, so I was correct about that, at least. So let's close up the door, and yeah, this needs to be plugged up. We've got some information over here. Yeah, do remove the no data on this screen if you like, because it looks a bit weird if that is there. Pure racing ship created for industries. Celebration 2023. Burn baby burn. Yeah, basically information of the ship itself. Some emergency medical supplies by the looks of it. Then this goes to here with some lockers and a trapdoor or something like that. This leads to the core itself. Some more control panels on the side. And a quite nice heads-up display by the looks of it. That's a very good way to do it, but I'm quite curious what's below this particular door. Nothing. Nothing at all. Okay. Probably because used because of the texture of this particular block, but yeah, because it can be interacted with, you can remove it. So, not exactly sure if that was the intention or not. But yeah, this is basically all the interior there is. Quite nicely done for such a small interior, but no actual airlock, and there's no place for people to sleep or anything like that. So this is, yeah, this is purely a racer. Yeah, it's purely a racing ship. So there's no other amenities added to it. That's not a bad thing, because yeah, race ship is a race ship. That's what they're there for, after all. Let's check out if there's some things we can do with it. There's no real additional systems by the looks of it, and I'm not sure if the systems have any chambers. No, it's just the basic standard. Some engines to move it around and some power. That's perfectly valid for the build initiative. That's what the rule says overall. But I do tend to auto-check the systems if I can, because they do tell a story sometimes. But like I said, quite a nice build. Some missing blocks, but that's easily fixed, I think, before the deadline. So let's continue on to the next entry. The next entry is the modified Mantis class Racer. I believe this was a chopped up version of a previous ship that was entered but was not meeting the size requirements. So it was modified to fit within the 75 block max limit. It's quite a simple design. A main hull with a big turret on top. And I have seen the turret design before, so I know that what builder this is from. We've got a big engine at the back over here. It's protected with a nice piece of armor over here. And then on the side we've got this cockpit design with a good view surrounding everything by the looks of it. And some blinking lights, although I don't like the beacon lights for that all that much, but it does work. And some radar dish spinning around at the bottom here. It's not centered, by the way, by the looks of it. It's not, no. Okay, it does work, but I quite like the design of the radar dish itself, by the way. But the rest of the underside is a bit plain, so we could use some detail over here, although some of the detailing over here is quite nice as well. But main hull is yeah, mainly blank. We got some detailing at the front with some antennas and cameras by the looks of it, so basically all your scanning materials, and we even have some missile weapon systems implemented here. So this is an armed ship. It's shooting the competition, I think. But I don't see a door all that fast, so how do I get inside? There was nothing at the bottom, I think. At the top, perhaps? Don't know. Let's cheat. This is in the back, I think. Yeah, okay, it's here. Ha! Okay, so there's a direct access to the actual bridge of the ship, and we can, by the looks of it, dock to here as well. So let's enter. Here we are at the door, so press this button, then this opens. And then we can press this button to close it again. I'm not sure why you have those two at different heights. Probably because of the light, but I think if you center the light, then you can move this button one block up as well. Then it's nicely light up. We do have a transporter over here, but no. Oh, here's the transporter pad. It's a bit awkwardly placed as well. Some nice console areas by the looks of it, with a computer clock. It's probably for the lights, things like that. Nice indicator that it is running. The heading, so basically where we're going with the ship, and the speed, of course. Over here we have gravity over here, nice. And we've got a door that leads to hopefully the main bulk of the ship. Let's see, we've got a nice bunk area over here with a bed that looks like it can be pushed back into the wall, although I don't see a button to activate that. Then we've got some engineering section over here. It's all quite small, but it does work. I'm not sure, this is different blocks, or is this docked or something like that? Don't think it is. yeah, this is all the interior there is, I think. But just let's check it out with the core access, just in case. Yeah, this is all systems. Yeah, it's all systems all the way through. So yeah, this is all the interior. There's probably is, yeah, by the looks of it, it is. So functional for one person by the looks of it. At least there's one bed, but that's the question, of course, where there are two control seats in the cockpit. Then you would expect to have two beds as well, but maybe I missed something. So quite a nice little build, but you can see that this is a ship that was modified, because I have seen the original ship as well. But yeah, it will probably get the job done to go fast. The last entry is the Bird class shuttle. So, like the name suggests, it is a shuttle, quite a small build. There's not a whole lot of interior possible for this build, but got quite a nice set of engines in the back here. It's more or less reminding me of a Starfield shuttle, sort of, at least in shape. Not entirely, because the front is a bit different, but sort of. And then we've got the beacon light at the top. Like I said, not a big fan of that, but some people that like it better than I do. And then we've got this door that leads to the inside. So yeah, there's nothing much going on here except for the cockpit. So we've got space for two people by the looks of it. Some of the standard modules in the back over here, and some information for the helm itself. So if we check out if there's something in the systems, then there's not a lot going on, just activation beam. And let's see, reactor, yeah, it's got some of the speed upgrades and even some of the jump drive upgrades. So yeah, basically the jump drive is not something that is going to be taken into account with the build challenge. But yeah, I don't see any drawback for adding that either. This is just a nice little transport ship to get you where you need to go within the universe, or perhaps deliver your pilots to your racing ships. That could be possible as well. But yeah, quite a small build, but does the job quite well. Hope you enjoyed this episode, and we're probably going to have one more episode with all the remaining ships that were entered before the deadline. And then it's basically going to be up to judges to see which of the 5 of this lineup gets picked as the top 5 ships. It's quite a big job. I don't envy them because there's a hard choice to make for every ship that was entered. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll see you next time.